and every cold heart lies a painful past. Jenny has started seeing a side of Lisa that no one else knew, but getting close to the CEO comes with a price. Today, a new river enters the game.
The next morning, Jenny stepped off the elevator at exactly 7:30 a.m., knowing how grueling the previous day had been, and remembering that Lisa had skipped both lunch and dinner while working late. Jenny had stopped by a quiet bakery on her way to work. She carefully placed a neatly packed, warm breakfast and a perfect cup of freshly brewed black coffee on the corner of Lisa's desk before sitting down to organize the day's schedule. A few minutes later, the glass doors slid open and Lisa entered the office, looking as sharp and untouchable as ever. But as she walked to her desk, she stopped in her tracks. Her eyes landed on the neatly wrapped breakfast box. Frowning, she reached out and pressed the desk intercom. "Jenny, into my office, now." Jenny entered immediately, her expression calm and polite. "You called me CEO?" Lisa pointed a cold finger at the warm food. "Who told you to bring this into my office?" Jenny smiled softly, her voice gentle. "You skipped lunch yesterday, CEO. And you didn't eat dinner either. I thought you might be hungry this morning, so I brought something light." Lisa's expression hardened, her defensive walls instantly going up. "I don't need anyone taking care of me, Miss Kim. Keep your focus strictly on your duties." Jenny didn't argue or get upset. She simply nodded respectfully. "I understand. I'm sorry." She turned and quietly left the office. Left alone, Lisa stared down at the untouched breakfast. Her hand hovered over it, intending to toss it into the wastebasket, but she stopped. Looking at the neatly wrapped package, a strange warmth tugged at her. For some reason, she just couldn't bring herself to throw it away. The executive boardroom buzzed with an unusual, anxious excitement. Today was no ordinary meeting. One of JL Group's most prominent international investors was visiting the headquarters to finalize a major partnership. High-ranking directors adjusted their ties and whispered nervously among themselves, checking their notes as the tension in the room steadily mounted. Suddenly, the heavy double doors of the conference room swung open. A tall, incredibly elegant woman stepped into the room, clad in a sharp, perfectly tailored navy business suit. She carried herself with an effortless confidence that immediately drew everyone's attention. "Good morning, everyone," she greeted, her voice smooth and poised. Lisa stood up from her seat at the head of the long glass table, her posture straight. "It's been a long time, Rosé." Rosé smiled warmly, her eyes crinkling as she walked over to shake hands. "So this is the famous, untouchable CEO Lisa everyone in the international market talks about? You've built quite an empire here." As they took their seats, Jenny quietly moved around the table to serve freshly brewed coffee to the guests, her movements graceful and professional. As she placed a cup in front of the main investor, Rosé stopped talking and noticed her immediately. Her warm smile widened. "And who is this?" Lisa replied, her voice remaining perfectly calm and businesslike. "My new personal assistant, Jennie Kim." Rosé leaned back slightly, looking at Jenny for a quiet moment before speaking with genuine charm. "She's incredibly cute." Jenny blushed slightly but maintained her professional demeanor, bowing her head. "Thank you, ma'am. It's an honor to meet you." Lisa sat silently, her eyes narrowing ever so slightly. She didn't know why, and she couldn't quite explain the sudden, tightening feeling in her chest. But hearing that simple, harmless compliment from Rosé irritated her immensely. "Excuse me, Jenny," Rosé called out, stepping away from the parting directors to catch up near the doorway. "I just wanted to say you handled everything incredibly professionally today. The presentation materials were flawless." Jenny laughed softly, bowing her head. "Thank you so much, Ms. Rosé. Honestly, I'm still learning the ropes around here, so that means a lot." "Trust me," Rosé smiled warmly, leaning closer. "If Lisa hasn't fired you yet, you're already very special. She doesn't tolerate mistakes from anyone." Before Jenny could say another word, Lisa suddenly appeared right between them. "Jenny, pack your things. We're leaving for the next appointment immediately," Lisa commanded coldly. "Oh yes, CEO, right away," Jenny said quickly, bowing to Rosé before hurrying down the hall. Rosé stood back, watching them walk away. She tilted her head, a knowing smile spreading across her lips. "Lisa has never interrupted one of my conversations before," she thought. Well, this is getting interesting." Jennie and Lisa stepped into the private executive elevator. The doors slid shut, sealing them in a heavy, suffocating silence. The digital numbers ticked down slowly. Jennie finally decided to break the ice. CEO, if you don't mind me asking, was the meeting with Ms. Rosé fully successful? Lisa kept her eyes fixed straight ahead on the polished metal doors. Yes, the contract terms are finalized. I'm glad to hear that, Jennie murmured. Another long, tense silence filled the small space. Then, completely out of nowhere, Lisa spoke up again. What exactly did Rosé say to you back there? Lisa asked, her tone sharp. Jennie blinked in surprise. Oh, it was nothing important, really. Lisa turned her head, her gaze locking onto Jennie with an intense, demanding look. I asked a question, Miss Kim. Answer me properly. Jennie couldn't help but let out a tiny, amused smile. She only said I was doing a good job and that I must be special to survive working for you. Lisa immediately looked away, her jaw tightening. Don't let compliments get you distracted. Jennie frowned slightly, adjusting her notepad. I won't. I know exactly why I am here. Lisa stared back at the elevator doors, adding in a quiet, almost forced whisper. Good. Your focus should remain entirely on your work, nothing else. Jennie looked down at her shoes, a secret, triumphant smile spreading across her face. Why on earth does it sound like she's jealous? The evening brought yet another grueling negotiation, this time with a delegation of senior foreign clients. Jennie sat directly beside Lisa at the long conference table, her fingers flying across her notepad to capture every detail of the intense discussion. Hours dragged on, the clock ticking well past dinner time before the final agreements were finally shaken on. As everyone stood up to pack their belongings, one of the elderly international clients smiled warmly, his eyes shifting over to Jennie. You know, CEO Lisa, the man chuckled, adjusting his glasses. I must say, your personal assistant is exceptionally beautiful. You have a very charming team here. Jennie's cheeks flushed a bright pink. She opened her mouth to politely downplay the compliment, but Lisa cut in before she could even utter a single syllable. She is here strictly to work, Mr. Vance, Lisa stated, her voice sharp and completely unyielding. Her appearance has absolutely nothing to do with her capabilities or the value of this contract. The elderly client cleared his throat, laughing awkwardly as the temperature in the room plummeted. Of course, of course. My apologies, CEO Lisa. Just a passing observation. Once the clients had fully exited the room, leaving the space completely quiet, Jennie turned to face her boss. Were you just protecting me back there? Jennie asked softly, a small glimmer of amusement in her eyes. Lisa didn't look up, aggressively stacking her folders into her briefcase. I was protecting this company's standards of professionalism. We are here to conduct multi-million-dollar business, not to be scrutinized on our looks. Jennie couldn't stop the massive smile spreading across her face. Whatever you say, CEO. If that's the excuse you want to use, I'll let you keep it. Go finish logging those minutes, Miss Kim, Lisa muttered, quickly turning on her heel and walking out of the room. She kept her back tightly turned, desperately hiding the tiny, genuine smile that was threatening to break across her own lips. The moment they stepped out into the main courtyard, a massive downpour slammed against the glass canopy. Heavy rain had returned with a vengeance. To make matters worse, Lisa's personal driver approached them with a deeply apologetic look. I am incredibly sorry, CEO, but the main vehicle has a severe flat tire. It's going to take the maintenance team quite a while to swap out the car. Lisa let out a sharp, frustrated sigh, rubbing her temples. Terrific. Jennie looked past the pouring sheets of water toward the glowing shelter of the public transit station just a block away. Well, look on the bright side. I can easily take the bus home tonight, so you don't have to worry about me. You should wait inside where it's warm. Lisa snapped her gaze toward her instantly. No, absolutely not. Jennie blinked in total confusion. Excuse me? Without another word, Lisa reached into her blazer pocket and pulled out a sleek set of keys, pressing the unlock button. A high-end luxury sports car parked in the VIP executive bay beeped, its headlights cutting through the dark rain. Get in, Lisa said, walking toward the driver's side. I'll drive us. Jennie's eyes widened. Wait, you? You're going to drive? Lisa stopped by the door, raising an arched eyebrow through the dark. Do you have an actual problem with my driving skills, Miss Kim? No, not at all. Jennie laughed nervously, quickly scurrying over to the passenger side to escape the downpour. A few minutes later, they were out on the slick, flooded city streets. The vibrant neon lights of the skyscrapers reflected beautifully across the rain-streaked windows of the luxury car. Neither of them spoke a word, the only sound being the rhythmic thumping of the windshield wipers and the soft hum of the powerful engine. Yet, for some strange reason, the silence didn't feel heavy or suffocating anymore. It felt incredibly comfortable. For the very first time,
One breakfast, one jealous question, one ride home. Without realizing it, the wall around Lisa's heart has begun to crack. But can Jenny discover the painful truth hidden in Lisa's past before someone tears them apart? To be continued, episode 5, One Car, Two Hearts.